You don't need a full life rebrand to feel inspired. You don't need more motivation or willpower to build self-trust. Because self-trust is not built in the moment when everything is going right. It is built in the exact moment you want to quit. The moment you want to avoid, scroll, procrastinate, no, delay. That is the moment that defines your identity. Not the big wins, but the micro choices that only you can see. And I know this not because I have written a book, but because I have lived every version of quitting on myself. From business to fitness to relationships. And I have rebuilt self-trust one micro decision at a time, especially on the days that did not look inspiring at all. This is not another video telling you to fix your morning routine. This is about the relationship that you have with yourself, especially on the days where you are tired, overstimulated, and just over it. Because self-trust is not built in the perfect routine. It is built in the way you respond to your resistance. The popular advice says, move your body, eat healthy, meditate, journal, visualize, and so on. And all of that can work, but if the foundation is missing, that is never going to stick. And the foundation is this. Can you stay with yourself the moment you want to escape? The moment you feel a craving, the moment you are overstimulated, tired, overwhelmed, underwhelmed, the moment you want to avoid, delay, shut down, numb, cope with unhealthy coping mechanisms. Can you stay with yourself in the moment instead of escaping? Because if you can't, no checklist is going to fix it. No habit is going to hold, and no goal is actually going to feel good. You're going to keep mistaking structure for safety, and you're going to keep chasing progress instead of presence. And self-trust can only be built by staying aware of the present moment. If we are not aware of what is happening with ourselves in the present moment, you're going to lose the opportunity that's actually able to build that self-trust. So what does self-trust actually look like in those moments you want to quit? It starts with these 3 shifts. Acceptance is the first disruption. I struggled with emotional eating and binge eating for years. And the number one thing that has kept me in that cycle was shame. The shame I felt after eating. Shame is a sneaky form of self-abandonment most people are unconscious of, especially neurodivergent people who have been masking for years, who have internalized beliefs around the way they do things and perceive them as wrong, who have been overriding their body signals, trying to fit into other people's standards of what it means to be successful, productive, and so on. You miss a workout or eat something off plan and you immediately go into judgment. You say you're going to start tomorrow, you punish, and then you repeat the cycle. Instead of breaking self-trust and going even deeper into dysregulation, what if you just accepted what it is that is true in that moment? Not numbing, not bypassing, just meeting yourself where you are without judgment. This is where I am and I can work with it. This sentence pulls you out of shame and puts you in the driver's seat. It gives you a choice because resistance is not the problem, self-abandonment is. You don't need to change how you feel in order to lead yourself. You need to stop thinking that what you are feeling is wrong. Building self-trust is not always about doing. It's not always about taking action. Sometimes it's about changing your perspective to the one that serves you the most right now. Because your unpleasant emotions are not the problem. The problem is the story that you attach to those emotions. Because we can only feel an emotion in our body for about 90 seconds. Everything past that is a feeling. A feeling is a story that you have attached to that emotion. That's what makes it unpleasant. That's what makes it hard. That's why we avoid and numb and delay and do everything that we can not to feel an ounce of an unpleasant emotion. Your emotions are not the problem. The way you respond to them often is. Here's a radical thought. What if every emotion is a signal pointing to your next step? Is a signal telling you what you need to take a deeper look at. Sometimes that emotion is going to show you the exact part of you that you have rejected, the exact part of you that you have shamed unconsciously. Other times that emotion is a signal pointing to where you need better boundaries, where you keep self-abandoning, where you keep self-betraying. So when you choose to look at your emotions as signals, as valuable information from your body, that's when you become someone who leads themselves with trust because you're not avoiding anymore. You're not delaying. You're not numbing. You're not coping with all the shit that we tend to cope with. Your emotions are signals pointing to your next step. Once you accept your current state and see emotions as signals, you're instantly someone who is living consciously, who has a choice on what to do next. Which brings me to my second point. Edit the story, not the truth. This one builds on acceptance. Once you have met yourself exactly where you are, you get to decide how you see it. Edit the story, not the truth. Let's say you wake up feeling tired and exhausted. The truth is you are tired. But your brain says, I already messed up, today is ruined, I'm already behind, la la la, whatever the story might be. Instead of accepting this automatic story as truth, you get to edit the story. Instead, you can say, my energy is low today and I just need to move differently today. You're not lying to yourself. You are unhooking yourself from the guilt-shame loop that keeps you stuck. You are choosing to lead yourself from where you are, and you are accepting of where you are not. You don't need to lie to yourself or fake positivity. You just need to create a more helpful lens for your brain to move through. Shift your perspective to the one that serves you the most right now. Or let's say you don't follow through on a plan you have made for yourself, whether it's meal prep, workout, work, whatever it might be. Your default thought might be, I'm so inconsistent, why am I like this, why do I do this, and so on. But this thought process only reinforces the pattern that is keeping you stuck. So instead of going with the easy thing, which is your automatic thought reaction, do the hard thing. Become aware of that story and change it. Instead, you can say, the choice is already done. I'm in control of what I do next. See what happens? This brings you from the shame spiral to taking back your power. This is how you build self-trust and inspire yourself in real time. Not with fake positivity, but with neutral ownership. Lastly, stack micro proof. Because self-trust is not built by trying to force things, by trying to control things, by trying to grip really hard on things. It is built by proof. Real time, present moment proof. So on those days you want to avoid, cope with things that hurt you, do one thing to prove to yourself that you can stay with yourself. Not to get back on track, not to be good, not to do the right thing, but to prove to your body, to prove to your nervous system that you don't abandon yourself anymore. Stand up, change your outfit, move your body for a few minutes. Send that message, send that email. Do one thing that you're going to be proud of tomorrow, that you're going to be proud of 30 minutes from now. That's all. Prove to yourself that you can stay with yourself even when it feels hard, even when it feels unpleasant, even when you feel those emotions that are really hard to feel. Even when your brain says, what's the point? That is the point. That one choice anchors the version of you are becoming. This is how you rewire your identity. This is how you change your life. This is how you keep going even when things are hard. This is how you keep going even when there's resistance, even when you want to numb, even when you want to avoid, even when you want to self-abandon. One choice. One choice that's going to feel hard in the moment. That's going to be the opposite thing of what your brain and body naturally want to do because they've been conditioned to act automatically. One choice, one action, proof. That one choice anchors the version of you are becoming. The version of you who does not need a reset every week. The version of you who does not go through progress. The version of you who does not avoid uncomfortable feelings. Self-trust is not built by doing things perfectly. It is built by doing it anyways. You're not behind. You're one decision away from self-trust. Start there. If they spoke to you and you're ready to go even deeper, my coaching is where we break these loops at the root. We don't rely on willpower. We rebuild the patterns underneath the procrastination, underneath the avoidance, underneath the cravings. So your body finally feels safe to follow through. Check out the link down below to work with me one-on-one. And if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments because it really helps me know what to create next.